friends, it's Sherry Ricard with the Real Girl Talk podcast. I'm an author, speaker, business leader, and adversity recovery expert. I'm bringing you fabulous guests, lifestyle tips, and a weekly dose of inspiration to help you create a beautiful life. So grateful that you're here. Now let's dive in.
The loss of a loved one is a nearly universal emotional crisis. Unprocessed grief and painful feelings can be buried, leaving you to feel numb. But there is hope. Certified grief counselor, RN, and author Sherry Ricard shares her story of how to cope in her first book, Wake Up Call, A Mother's Grief Journey, after the loss of her 17-year-old son. This book, along with Sherry's other books, are available on Amazon as well as on sherryricard.com.
Welcome back to Real Girl Talk, guys. I have a special guest for you today because she is actually my business coach, and I can't keep her all to myself. I need to share with the world because she's amazing. She's done wonderful things to help me, and we're continually working together to create a lot of things that are coming down the pipe. I know that you know that I am launching or relaunching my online course, Writer's Roadmap, and she is helping me with that. She's also helping me with other online courses and helping me develop landing pages and just really all around business to pull everything together so it just comes out fabulously for you. So I want to introduce you to Camille. She has always had a passion for business and marketing. At the age of 13, she even started her own candle making business. So Camille has multiple business and marketing degrees. She has an MBA in entrepreneurship. Camille not only is successful in business and marketing, guys, but she also coaches and helps other women create their own successful business. She is also a carpenter and has her own podcast show called Remodel Your Life podcast. Welcome, Camille, to the show, my business coach.
Hey, thank you so much. What a fantastic opener.
I know. Don't you just love it? I love when people introduce me to their show because I feel for about 10 minutes like I feel that, my poop doesn't stink for just 10 minutes.
Yes. I feel like a total hero right now.
I know. It's like where is my cape when someone is talking about me? So I'm impressed with you. And I've told you this many times, Camille, but I want to start with your background in carpentry. So I know where that came from. We've talked about that. I want you to tell my listeners where that started, what you do for women in that industry, and then let's talk about what you can do for women that want to start a business.
Okay. It's a very long journey. I'm just turned 50. And so a very, very long time ago, my daddy was a contractor and a cabinet maker. So I grew up in the foothills of Northern California, just basically running around in little dresses, my sister and I, on a job site in the 70s. And I was around tools and I was around my dad, and he just had so much confidence in us. That, he just let us try whatever we wanted to try. And so it was very normal for us to be around tools. And he was unusual because he was a general contractor, meaning he built the house from the dirt up, the concrete, the foundation, the roads, the framing, the roof, the whole thing. And he also owned a cabinet shop. And so that was very unusual, the two combinations. So I really got to see things from the very beginning. I got to see a lot of problem solving on the job site, but I also really fell in love with really fine finish work, because he built kitchen cabinets. So I got a really big, broad view of the tiny things that you really want to pay attention to, detail oriented, but also just like client management, working with vendors, solving problems on the job site. So it was just literally seeped in my blood. I just grew up loving construction, and unfortunately, my dad left my mom right before high school, and so I didn't see him for about 10 years.
Wow.
And it was extremely dramatic when it happened, and, he was my life. And so I kind of vowed I was never going to do anything with it, and but I knew I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to just take care of myself and make money, and, all that stuff that happens to you when there's sort of like a tragic thing that happens. And so I went the whole other direction. I started a bunch of little businesses, and I went off to college, and I spent a bunch of years getting a business degree and an MBA and working with clients. And I totally burned out on that. I absolutely loved the problem solving. I loved the marketing. I was a teacher. I taught graduate level courses of business and marketing. And so I loved the business development part, the business building part, but I really just got burnt out. I wasn't doing anything physical at all. I was in a suit, dressed up all day long, fancy. And I just totally burned out, and I kind of crashed and burned. And my sister was the one that, after much complaining on my part, and commiserating with myself, she finally said, "Oh, for God's sakes, like, why don't you just become a carpenter?" And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I just spent all this money on my degrees and, tons, years and years in college. And she's like, "Yeah, but you're just miserable. Like, you're just making everybody miserable. Like, you're not happy. All you ever do with your free time is remodel your own houses." Because with my extra money, I was buying houses and remodeling them. My boyfriend's houses, my friends' houses, my neighbors' houses. That's basically what I did with my free time, was carpentry.
And I wish I'd have known you then.
I would have built an entire mansion for you.
That would be awesome. Can you do it now?
Yeah. So then finally I just it was like a coming to Jesus. I just had to really face the fact that really was the only thing that made that where I really lit up, And so I just decided one day to just test myself. I'm little, I'm 5'3", and I was literally like 105 pounds then. And I just decided, well, if I can do the physical work of it, I'm just going to see if I can get a job doing it. And so I just walked onto like some random job site and asked for a job, and they let me dig ditches for a few days. And, it was really hard, digging next to the Mexican guys, the big, huge guys. Right. But that was like the happiest I'd been in years. When I went home that day, like, I was exhausted, I was tired, I was sunburned, but something about it connected. I was like, I have to have something physical in my life every day. Something about that connected for me. And I really just proved to myself that I could do that like hard thing, whatever that is. So I started over from scratch, and I worked my way up from the bottom, and I eventually got inside the house and started doing finish work inside the house, and then got a better job and did that for a while, and then got another better job. And basically every time I hit a ceiling, I would just take the information I knew and go lateral and move up. Right. I eventually joined the Carpenters Union. I did that until I hit a ceiling. And then eventually I was like, for God's sakes, like, I already know how to run a business. Like, I'm just going to start my own business.
Right.
So I quit that, and I took all that experience, and I started my own kitchen remodeling company. And so that's what I've done for the last 25 years. And I had a whole female crew, in the shop, and made millions of dollars doing that, and was very successful, and absolutely loved it. Created my own strategies of how to
You're such a little powerhouse, like just little 5'3" dynamo. And when you were sitting there talking about how you picked up a shovel and you started digging the ditch, like, part of me was sitting here thinking, it's really amazing. Camille and I met at a podcast conference, I'll just tell you, and we hit it off immediately. And to tell you how you really can find your tribe, you don't necessarily have to be identical, but you still connect with someone. I wouldn't pick up a shovel, and she's out there would dig a ditch. Like, I would be so afraid it would break a nail, and Camille could care less about her nails. So, I mean, you can be friends and really connect with anyone. It's just, if that particular person just vibes. And that's what Camille and I do in this business part of everything that we want to create. But what's so cool about you is you took that knowledge and everything that you built, and you wanted to share it. So you created, tell everybody what you did with all of that knowledge and how you started creating your teaching for other women to do the same thing.
Right. I think I've probably just always been a teacher. I think that's probably anytime I learn something, I just want to tell somebody how to do it. Like, I can't help myself. Like, if I can help you with something I know how to do, I think I'm just at my core. I just love teaching. I love helping, and I really love helping women become like financially independent or empowered, or I see so many women held back and still feel really stuck. Even in 2019, they still are scared to try things. And so, and it's not like I'm not scared. I'm scared of lots of things, but I still,
Right.
I really I really like helping women try things they're scared of. And so I did that company for a long time. And about 9 years ago, I had a couple of clients who approached me who were really interested in me teaching them a little bit about like how to fix things around their own house. So I said, okay, sure. I'll just come over on a Saturday, come over to the shop, and I'll show you like how to use a cordless drill, and I'll show you how to use a chop saw. And they absolutely loved it. And they told like all their girlfriends, their sisters and their moms and their daughters. And before I knew it, like in 6 months, I had like all these women that were coming that wanted to take all these classes. And so because I'm an entrepreneur and a marketing, I'm like, this is a good idea. So I started these carpentry classes called Carpentry University. And every year it just doubled basically. And so for the last 7 years, I think we've had almost 7,000 women come through the program. And basically all summer, we open our shop up in the weekends and we teach a series of carpentry classes. And so projects and how to make a chair and how to make a table and how to put up crown molding. And so I recognized that that was a really big need. And so I decided to create an online class because we had women from all over the country emailing us saying, hey, my sister took your class. You know, do you have a shop in Virginia? And I'm like, nope, we're in California. So that's where I got the idea to make a bigger impact with the podcast, Remodel Your Life podcast, and also just be able to create really low cost online courses where a woman who wants to hang a picture, put up curtains, put up crown molding, put in a floor, you know, pretty simple carpentry things.
Right.
She would be able to learn that. And so my actual bigger goal is to maybe have like a membership group where literally on camera, women can be doing something and then I can watch what they're doing and make small adjustments with them. Mostly that's what women need is
That's brilliant.
technique. Yeah, the correct technique, the right tool makes all the difference. It's like the difference between a great pair of pumps and a really shitty pair of heels. The right tool makes all the difference. And then feedback, just a little bit of feedback, a little bit of body adjustment, a little bit of difference in pressure can make it so the drill works perfectly and you get perfect results, or basically it's an
So you're telling me that my husband was telling me the truth all the times that he said, I could do that efficiently if I had the right tools.
Yes, except that his tools would not be as good as my tools. I guarantee you that. Yeah, the stuff that I use most people have not heard of these tools, and that's what makes the difference. So because that's 25 years of me using really crappy tools until I finally realized what are the best tools. And they make it's just like, I mean, I know you know the feeling between like a pair of jeans you buy at Kmart or a $300 pair of, you know, jeans that fit your body perfectly. That's basically how good tools are, the right tools.
Wow.
To fit your size, your shape, your hand. Yeah.
So you turned this into an online course and you also had your workshop. When did that transition to you teaching women how to take any business? Because I know that's what you've done because you're helping me tremendously with creating what we're creating. Yeah. So when did that transition to marketing and showing women how to build, you know, 6-figure, 7-figure successful businesses from zero?
So that probably started a long time ago. That brings me full circle back to being a business development consultant and a marketing consultant and a marketing teacher. Because I basically hadn't been using that for 25 years. I had on my own business, and my kitchen cabinet business was, you know, easily 10 times more successful than any of my competitors. I think it really is because I'm a woman and I really look at things differently than men do. And so all those business plans that I did with my students, I mean, hundreds a year, all the business plans I did with my own clients, I had all that information basically locked inside of me, right, for that 25 years. And I was only applying it on my own business. And then the internet happened, like the real internet happened like 10 years ago. And Facebook and Instagram and all these things that I never had before, right? So then what I started doing was learning all that stuff, learning how to transition what I knew in real life in my regular job, regular company, to an online business, the podcast, the online courses, email lists, landing pages. I started learning all the latest techniques and software. And as I started learning all those things to transition my own business, I was starting to reach back to all the stuff I knew from before and sort of apply it to this modern marketing techniques. And as I started doing that, some of my clients and friends that I had in real life, I was helping them get their businesses online, not just my own. And I was like, oh my God, this is like incredible. Like if I had had this 25 years ago. So that's really where the transition, where I started to realize, oh, all the stuff I actually already know about business and marketing, where I'm really good at finding that sweet spot for each person, their offer, like how to structure everything, how to tie it all together, all these latest softwares that I'm now using with you, I started to see the potential. And that's when I really started to realize, oh my gosh, like this is like a whole nother thing I could be doing. That's just like what I did before when I was a business development person, but I've got the much better techniques to use now, faster, easier, cheaper. I mean, there's so much you can do with $1,000 now between Facebook and Instagram and a few software packages. Like it's incredible what you can do now.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think a lot of times people sit back, and I know women that have come to me and about ideas and things that they want to do, but they have no idea or what direction to take it. And a lot of times they have an incredible talent and they don't even realize they can turn it into a profitable business. I truly believe your passion lies in, that's your most power, right? Yeah. And so you can turn those passions and all of that power and that drive into your lifelong purpose. But I think some women think, oh, that just comes to me so easy. That's not really a talent. That's not really a skill. And I'm sitting back thinking, are you kidding me? Like I could not do that. You can turn that into such a business, but then they start questioning themselves. Well, I don't know how to do that. Yeah. And I think that you should invest in yourself. I'm a true believer in coaching. True believer. If you are not comfortable getting in front of a camera, get someone a video camera media coach. If you're not comfortable or you don't know how to turn your business into something that's profitable, and we're talking an online business, if you don't know how to do that, get a business coach. If you can't work through an area in your life, whether it's grief, divorce, whatever it is, if that's holding you back from whatever you want to do in your life, get a coach to help you get through it. I truly believe the biggest investment that you can make in life is in yourself. Yeah. And so I know that you can take, because you have so much knowledge, and it's not necessarily things that I don't know, Camille, but it's things that I don't know how to pull together. And because that's so easy for you, guys, I go to Camille and I show her all these puzzle pieces, and she really just, if she could reach through the computer, because we have Zoom face-to-face calls all the time. I know she wants to reach through the computer and grab me by the hair, by my ponytail or my bun, whatever I'm sporting that day. And I know she wants to pull it as hard as she can because
you're the best possible client, because you already have all the fantastic pieces. And all I'm doing is helping you figure out how to organize them and connect them. And
I love that.
Women have businesses like that, or they have the assets. They have all these different things, and it's just you have to connect them and use the synergy of all those 5-6 things. And so you're the perfect client. I mean, because you already have all these fantastic things going on. I'm just helping you figure out how to leverage all of them in one direction, basically.
Right. But what's cool is if I did not have, I didn't have these lead magnets and things that you were wanting me to create, already had some of that. But even if someone doesn't have anything, if they're starting from ground zero, you know exactly what to tell them to start with, because, I'll give Camille 20 things and she'll say, Sherry, zone it down. Focus. I want you to create 5. I want you to create the next week. I want you to create 3 more. Whereas I see the whole 20 and I'm going, oh my gosh, I have no idea where to start. I don't know what to do with this. Camille has a way of telling you what you need to do, how you need to do it, why you need to do it, which is also very important, because if you don't know your why, you will stop.
Absolutely. That's something I really I believe. I'm so glad you brought that up because I myself have faced that with my own stuff, with my own business. Like if I don't know, it's not just good enough to be busy all the time. It has to have a purpose that leads in the direction you want to go.
Right.
I totally agree that if I don't explain the why to a client or someone doesn't explain it to me, I'm not going to invest in that because I don't actually know that that's going to be fruitful. And you could waste your time all day on online stuff. There's so much information. It's so
So
overwhelming.
much.
And you just need a few key things that add up to the direction you want to go. So that why is what pulls you through to keep focusing in the same direction. So the why
Right.
is really important.
Why is really important. And I will tell you ladies, everybody that's listening, or gentlemen, if you're listening to this podcast, write down your why before you ever create your business. Take your why and just 3 sentences, take your why, blow it up to the biggest font that you can and put it on your vision board. And if you don't have a vision board, we need to have another conversation.
Yes.
But if you don't have a vision board, you should have a board by your desk that is just a power board or an inspiration or affirmation board. Put it at the top, your why, because I promise you, when things get tough, things don't go your way, when you have all of these struggles and hurdles and stepping stones that you have to go through, and you want to just throw in the towel and throw the computer out the window, and you look at your why, that will stop you.
Yeah.
Will definitely stop you. Now, I want you to, if you can, tell us, if as a business and marketing coach helping women create successful businesses, what are a few tips that you can tell us? Maybe just 3, zone it down to 3 really valuable tips that you can give out to someone that is thinking that they may have a business idea, whether it be a brick and mortar or online, whatever it is. 3 tips to help them get started.
Well, hopefully this won't be too in depth, but I would say I always start with a client with some sort of a monetary goal. So I don't like to start a business or anything without knowing what's the basic monetary goal, because once that becomes your why. So let's say you want to make $5,000 a month with this potential idea. How many of those things do you need to sell to make $5,000 a month? That helps dictate how much marketing you have to do to get, say, 3 of those things to equal $5,000 or $1,000. When you have an idea, put it in something concrete. Just literally, I call it like my napkin test. I always start with my cocktail napkin. I do a basic, very tiny cash flow statement, which is this. I come up with the number I want to make, and I back into how many of such and such do I need to sell to make that happen. Because then that becomes your marketing plan. If you need 10, that's possible. If you find out you need 1,000, you may not want to even start that business, right? Because you start to look at real numbers, right? Real simple numbers. Number 2 would be try to figure out how you're going to transform someone's life. So we sometimes call this a customer journey. So like for you, in my head, I was already thinking, what is the customer's journey that your customer is going to go through? And that helps dictate, again, the marketing plan, how you're going to get someone from A to C, A to B to C to D, whatever that little journey is. If you can help somebody transform or go through something, you can make money, right? If you're helping someone go from A to B to C to D, but it really helps to focus your attention so that you're not just running around doing a whole bunch of things. You're thinking about your customer from day one. They started here, and you want to get them to go to here, whether that's reading a book, going through a course, going to a retreat, one-on-one services. It doesn't really matter. There has to be, the money is in that transformation with a client. And then number three, would be, so that's the money, that's the customer journey. And number 3 would probably be a very small business plan. And by a business plan, I mean like literally a 1-page document where you kind of describe what you're going to offer, how much you think it's going to cost, who you think is going to buy it, and why they're going to buy it. Very few people even do just that. And it's really helpful. Like if you gave it to a coach like me, I can read a very clear, it helps you focus your thoughts. And a lot of times on a very small business plan, we can do something on a piece of paper, and then you realize, well, maybe I don't want to work that hard, or maybe this isn't going to work, or it's easier to do things on paper than to go out and spend 3 years trying to make something happen, only to find out it was going to be harder than you're going to be able to do things you maybe don't want to do. Like,
right.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, most people don't do a very small business plan. And I don't mean like a 20-page business plan. I mean, like, just literally a 1-page document where you tell yourself what you want to do.
Right. And I think that's really important because, first you write your why, and then you have to have some type of monetary goal. And I think people set their standards a little lower with their monetary goal only because they let their own self-criticism and doubt keep them from thinking as high as they possibly can. Right. And I will tell you, guys, when Camille told me what she expected from me as a monetary goal of what she knew that I could provide, it was hard for me to picture that because I didn't see myself as that valuable to my customer. And that is the biggest mistake that you can make. Yeah, you are really valuable.
Really you are undersold yourself of what
yes.
the potential is of your business.
Yes, you devalue what is actually very valuable. And if you think about that, if you have a particular pain point and you know that you can go out and solve the pain point for someone else that is your very own pain point, that is not the only person that you're solving it for. There are hundreds or thousands, if not millions of people that can help from a pain point that you're solving. And I'm going to just throw my daughter in here and use her as an example. My daughter has been watching me grow in my coaching business and writing and doing speaking events and book signings and now my podcast. And she watches me. And it's just recently that she's come to me and said, Mom, I want to do this. And look, I have not pushed her. I have not told her. And as much as it's hard for me because I'm a control freak and I know what talents my daughter has, incredible talents. And that's not speaking from a mother. That's speaking from a businesswoman that can spot someone that knows that they have incredible talent. And it wasn't just until a week ago that she started her very small Facebook group called Living Learning Lifestyles. And within 1 week, she has hundreds of members in this group. And I'm going to tell you why. Because she gives them daily valuable information for free that any woman that's in business or is a mom, is a working mom, a non-working mom, whatever it is, she gives them valuable tips and tools to make their life easier, period. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to her Facebook group, you'll get it. But that's a plug for my daughter because she deserves it. And I personally have gotten things off of her Facebook that she has not told me about. I'm thinking, how did you hide that from your mom? You should have shared that with me. I'm having to find it because I'm part of this group now. Like, that's not even fair. I should have firsthand knowledge. But that's just an example of someone that doesn't realize the potential and the value they have. So I'm speaking to you. You're listening to the show. I'm speaking to you right now. If you have a business idea or you think that you do, but you don't truly know whether it's going to be valuable, you need to speak to Camille. And Camille, I want you to share with everyone how they can get in touch with you, what you can do for them, and what kind of value you can create for them.
So probably the simplest is just go to remodelyourlifepodcast.com, use the contact link, send me an email. I read every single one of them. We can also put my personal email on the show notes. But basically that's what I thrive on, helping women tell me their story, tell me what they want to do, or tell me what they're already doing that's not working. And I basically listen to all that and I pull out the part that's going to work and I tell them what I think they should do. It's pretty straightforward. Like, I just know the things that are worth the time pursuing and the things that are not. And I'm very straightforward, and I'll just tell you the stuff I think you can make money on and the stuff that you can't. And I'll come up with like a very simple plan that it focuses your time and attention and teach you the software that you need to do to make those things happen. And just connect the dots for you. Basically, I just create a actual functional engine, right? That makes money. Like,
now for someone that's never hired a business coach and they're thinking, I can't afford a business coach. Mm-hmm. It is the value or what someone has to invest in a business coach differ from one to the next, depending on how much work you have to put into that client?
What I do is I always do basically for $250, I'll spend basically 2 hours with you. So I'll do the initial assessment. I'll listen to your story. I'll listen to what you're either already doing or want to do. And I'll create a very small, simple roadmap for you. And then if you want to pursue it beyond that, then it's a couple $100 for me to show you how to use the software that I use. And maybe once a month we meet and, you do the thing you're supposed to be doing, you come back and you talk to me about it. So I really, it's a couple $100 because I really want women that are stuck. Sometimes they just need a little bit of help to keep moving forward in the right direction. Not thousands of dollars, because they're not going to do it if it's thousands of dollars.
No, they're not. And I love that, because business coaches, a lot of times these days, you'll find a business coach. First of all, you don't know if they even have the background to be teaching you what they're teaching you. Maybe they read a book and now they're trying to teach you from a book. But I'm a true believer in grabbing a coach that comes from experience. And if they have experienced it, and they are successful through it, and now they're teaching people how they've started from zero to success, that is your business coach. That is your media coach. That is your counseling coach.
And coaches that have had failures. I've had many failures. I've had probably 30 businesses by now. I've had a bankruptcy. I've been sued by QVC because they messed up on their packaging and we couldn't. I've had everything that can possibly happen to you. And I've also made millions and millions of dollars. So like when I say I know it's not going to work and you're going to waste a bunch of time and money, like I know, I can just tell you, I don't think this is a direction you should go. And if I think I know it's going to make money, it's because it's based on experience, both good and bad.
I love that, because you are very honest, you're very direct, but you're also very gentle with me.
Yeah, I want it.
She tries not to hurt my feelings.
No, I want it to work. Like that's the big thing.
You do.
I want your business to work like as though it's my own business. So
you really do. You put your heart and soul in it, and I love you for that, because you to be able to just have 2 hours with you is amazing. I mean, it's just valuable. So it's worth the investment. And I love you for that. So tell us again what your website is.
So remodelyourlifepodcast.com, and just go to the contact link. Okay. So Camille, CAMILLE_L, like as in Larry, at sbcglobal.net.
SB as in boy.
Yeah. C as in cat, global.net.
global.net. And I'm going to put that in the show notes, guys, so you will be able to see it in case you want to reach out to Camille. Thank you so much. I appreciate you having you on the show. Been trying to get her on the show, but she's too dadgum busy, and we finally connected, and I'm sharing my business coach with you guys. So there you go. This is where I'm learning all of my knowledge that you're going to see later on as the months progress coming all together. And then you're going to go, oh, I know exactly who helped her do it, because you're going to know that I didn't do it by myself.
I'm so excited about all the stuff we're going to do with you. It's going to be
it's huge. You're going to see it unfold in your
vision.
and I could not do it by myself. There's no way. Okay. It's just not, I can't, I have talents and skills in other avenues, and this is not it. Camille's my girl. So until next week, guys, make sure that you keep your encouragement tank full. Invest in yourself, step out of your comfort zone, keep your faith in God, and have a blessed week.